What I like about the first Jurassic Park is just how grounded it was and how it had such a realistic approach to it. These new Jurassic World films today aren't like that and are just more so over the top. By the way, ladies and gents, please be sure to subscribe, like, and comment. It helps to push the channel and video. Okay, so here we are picking up after the previous Jurassic Park film where now mankind hangs in the balance as humans and dinosaurs coexist. Owen Grady, played by Chris Pratt, lives in the isolated wilderness along with Claire, played by Bryce Dallas Howard. The two of them have adopted Maisie, played by Isabella Sermon, who was the little girl from the previous film. And here they have this family thing going on. Owen and Claire want to protect Maisie from the outside parties who want to obtain her for genetic properties for profit, of course. Maisie and Blue's baby raptor are both kidnapped. Blue has reproduced and given birth to a baby raptor, which you all saw in the trailers, I believe. Blue was able to have her own child all on her own without a mate. Now, Owen and Claire are set out to save Blue's child and their own, Maisie. Now, let's move on to movie number 2's story. You guys starting to see the problem here? Keep up. There's a corporation called Biosyn that on the outside wants to appear as if they are goody two-shoe for the planet, blah, blah, blah. But really, they're just interested in utilizing the dinosaurs and technology behind it all. They ended up breeding genetically modified locusts that are eating up all our crops at a rapid pace. And here is where the original cast comes in to go to Biosyn and to try to retrieve a sample to combat the locusts so they can stop them from eating up all the crops. At some point in the movie, both stories meet and become one movie finally. I gotta say, the first act of this film is boring. Also, there's just too much going on here, and the movie is operating as two movies at once. One of them is falling in line as a spy thriller, which there's a scene where I was instantly reminded of from the rooftop chase scene in Bourne Ultimatum. But you know, this has a raptor in it. So yeah, once again, this movie felt like a double feature all in one, but with no intermission. In all honesty, this movie should have been in 2 parts. That way they can flesh out the world and build the story and characters up. Here, the director Colin Trevorrow throws a lot of action sequences at you with many dinosaurs that never even come close to the action scenes Steven Spielberg created in the first 2 Jurassic Park films, where Spielberg created moments of immense danger and threat, and you could tell that Colin is throwing a lot at you. And I think that's part of the problem here. Quality over quantity. None of these scenes are created in any way to evoke fear, terror, or for you to be on the edge of your seat, and it would have been great to have that. Also, the original cast, who I was very much excited to see again, were poorly used here, and that may be for the fact there were just too many characters. I mean, there was a lot of characters here. Nothing against the new cast, but I would have preferred a movie with the original cast being the main characters, but that's just me. Another problem for me is we don't get to see what the consequences are with the dinosaurs being around the world is like. You know, I grew up watching the Jurassic Park films as a kid, and the major thing I did like from this movie was seeing the original cast back in this world, even if the film didn't do much with them. Speaking of that, as a fan of the original cast, I did like what they decided to do between Alan and Ellie, something I always wanted as a kid. I'm not gonna say, but you'll know what I'm talking about. Now, there were some action sequences that I thought were nice, and then there were some that I also thought were nice from a conceptual standpoint. I liked how some of them were staged, but they just were lacking in terms of build-up and suspense. And using Roger Ebert's 4-star rating system here, if I had to rate this film, I would give this film 1.5 stars out of 4. If you're looking and wanting that Steven Spielberg feeling and touch to this film, then sorry to disappoint, but it doesn't. However, I would say if you're a serious hardcore Jurassic Park fan, then you will like this. I didn't like the previous Jurassic Park film, Fallen Kingdom, but if you did, then I would think you would enjoy this one. But for me, this movie was disappointing and just kind of all over the place. I'm just saying.